AI won't steal your job. It will expose the part of you that slowly stopped getting better, not the part of you that's tired, not the part that's overwhelmed, the part that learned how to stay comfortable inside routines, the part that learned how to look busy without actually growing. If that line stings, that's normal. Because the real fear around AI isn't really about technology, it's about being seen clearly. For a long time, it was possible to survive without evolving much. You could show up, follow the rules, repeat yesterday's work, and still be rewarded tomorrow. You didn't need to deeply understand what you were doing. You didn't need to question your habits. The system worked, so you stayed inside it. That world trained people, not in a cruel way, in a predictable way. When nothing forces you to adapt, your mind adapts to comfort instead. You stop pushing, you stop questioning, you don't feel lazy, you feel stable, you feel set, and you mistake that feeling for security. Then AI enters the picture, not loudly, not violently, quietly. It does in seconds what used to take you hours, and suddenly something you thought was valuable looks mechanical. Something you thought required skill looks procedural. Something you built your identity around no longer needs you. That moment isn't about machines. It's about exposure. If your role disappeared tomorrow, what would actually remain of you? That question doesn't demand an answer right away. It waits, and once it appears, it doesn't go away. Here's the first thing most people get wrong. AI isn't competing with human potential. It's competing with human stagnation. It replaces repetition, not thinking, execution, not judgment, tasks, not responsibility. Think about it in simple terms. If your day is mostly copy this, paste that, follow these steps, fill this template, send this email, then you're not doing work that requires a human mind. You're doing work that requires a human body to sit in a chair. And for years, that was enough. But AI is removing the chair work. It's shrinking the time it takes to do routine tasks. It's taking the boring middle and turning it into a button. That's why people feel threatened. Not because AI is evil, but because AI makes routine obvious. For years, repetition paid. You could repeat yesterday and still be praised tomorrow. Experience meant time spent, not insight gained. Titles accumulated even when understanding didn't. Slowly, value moved away from individuals and into systems. People didn't build value that traveled with them. They borrowed value from the structure around them. That works until the structure changes. When AI compresses years of routine into minutes, it removes the cushion that hid stagnation. And suddenly a very simple question appears. What do you actually contribute when the system isn't doing the thinking for you? Not your job title, not the label you were given, not how hard you feel you work, your ability to understand, decide, and adapt. The silence after that question is what many people are truly afraid of. Now let's clarify what laziness means here, because people hear that word and think it's an insult. That's not the point. Modern laziness isn't lying on a couch. It's staying mentally asleep while staying physically active. It's doing tasks all day, then wondering why you feel stuck. It's being productive in a way that never upgrades you. Here's a simple test. If your job disappeared tomorrow, could you explain your value in one sentence without naming your title? Could you say, "I solve this kind of problem," or "I make this outcome happen," or "I bring this judgment to tough decisions"? Most people can't. They talk about responsibilities instead of results. They list tasks instead of value. And that's not because they're dumb. It's because the system never forced them to think in those terms. AI forces it, because AI doesn't care about effort, it cares about output. And when output becomes cheap, the only thing that stays expensive is judgment. That's why this moment feels personal. You might feel like AI is coming for your job, but what it's really coming for is the part of your job that never needed you. And that's where the discomfort lives. There's another trap AI creates that people don't talk about enough: Fake competence. AI can produce clean writing, confident answers, and polished ideas instantly. That can make you look smart. It can also make you lazy in a deeper way. You start borrowing intelligence instead of building it. At first, it feels like a superpower. You generate faster, you deliver more, you meet deadlines, people praise the output, and your brain gets rewarded for results without effort. But if you didn't understand what you produced, you didn't grow, you just shipped. Over time, this creates a dangerous gap. Your outputs look advanced, but your understanding stays basic, and then you walk into a real conversation, a real decision, a real crisis, and you realize you can't defend what you said. You can't explain why it's true. You can't spot what's wrong. That's when the mask falls off. This is why the future will punish people who use AI as a shortcut to avoid learning. Not because they'll be exposed by a boss. They'll be exposed by reality. There's a clear split happening right now, and it has nothing to do with technology. It's psychological. Some people use AI as leverage. They ask better questions. They use it to explore ideas, test assumptions, and learn faster. They let it expose gaps, then fill them. For them, AI amplifies judgment. Others use AI as anesthesia, to avoid effort, to skip learning, to appear competent without becoming competent. They use it to maintain comfort, not to build capacity. Same tool, different intention, different future. This is what AI really reveals. Not your talent, but your relationship with effort. If you avoid effort, AI exposes you. If you embrace effort, AI multiplies you. And the scary part is how quietly the slide happens. It's small choices. I'll let it write the email. I'll let it do the summary. I'll let it plan the strategy. I'll let it handle the thinking. At first, it's just convenience. Then it becomes dependence. Then one day you realize your mind hasn't had a hard workout in months. That's not progress, that's sedation. The deeper reason this moment feels destabilizing is identity. Humans anchor who they are to what they do. I am my job. I am my role. I am what people need me for. When that function is automated, it feels existential, not because money disappears, but because meaning shakes. If your role vanished, who would you be without it? That question feels terrifying if you never invested in yourself beyond the position. If your confidence came from being needed by a system rather than being capable on your own. AI forces this confrontation. It removes busyness and asks what you can do when there is no script. Most people were never prepared for that, and that's why so many people react with anger or denial. When something threatens your identity, your mind tries to protect you. It's easier to say AI is ruining everything than to say, I haven't grown the way I should have. But the second sentence is where your power is. So what becomes valuable in a world where execution is cheap? Clarity, judgment, taste, responsibility. When anyone can generate 10 ideas in 10 seconds, the value isn't ideas. The value is choosing the right one, knowing why it's the right one, and committing to it long enough to make it real. AI will flood you with options. If you don't have clarity, you'll drown in possibility. You'll keep researching and exploring and planning, but you'll never build. You'll stay at the beginning of everything. That's why the people who win won't be the ones who move the fastest. They'll be the ones who can stay. Stay with a question until it deepens. Stay with a skill until it sharpens. Stay with a project until it becomes real. If you can't stay, you'll always feel behind because you're always starting over. Now let's make it practical, because this can't end as a philosophy speech. If AI is exposing laziness, what does not being lazy actually look like? It looks like building portable value, value that travels with you, even if the role changes. Value that isn't tied to a specific workflow or tool. Here are 4 moves you can make that are simple, but not easy. One more thing. AI will also expose whether you understand your own tools. If you rely on a spreadsheet but can't explain the logic behind the numbers, AI will make that obvious. If you manage projects, but your real skill is forwarding messages, AI will make that obvious too. It's not humiliating, it's clarifying. It's telling you this part is automatable. The part that isn't is the part you must finally own. First, do a replaceability audit. Write down the top 10 tasks you do weekly. For each task, ask, if AI can do 80% of this, what is the 20% that still requires me? Is it context, taste, relationship building, risk judgment? If you can't name the 20%, you're repeating, not growing. Second, build one skill stack. Don't chase 10 skills at once. Pick one domain and stack it with communication and AI fluency. For example, finance plus storytelling plus AI workflows, coaching plus psychology plus AI tools, marketing plus consumer behavior plus AI testing. The stack makes you hard to copy because it's the combination that's rare. Third, rebuild your tolerance for boredom. This matters more than motivation. Mastery is mostly sustained discomfort. If you escape friction instantly, if you always need stimulation, you'll never develop depth. Schedule time where you practice a skill without distraction. No tabs, no scrolling, just focused effort. That's where your edge returns. Fourth, use AI to learn, not to hide. When AI gives you an answer, ask, why is this true? What would make this wrong? What are the trade-offs? Show me examples. Now argue the opposite. Turn the tool into a trainer, not a crutch. That's how you become the person who benefits from AI instead of being threatened by it. Let's close the loop we opened at the beginning. If the tool can do the task, what do? You become the person who chooses the right task. You become the person who can look at a polished answer and still see the flaw. You become the person who understands the why, not just the how. You become the person who takes responsibility when there is no checklist. Because that's what machines can't do. They can generate, they can't care, they can't own consequences, they can't be accountable, and that's where the real opportunity lives. AI will expose your laziness if you use it to avoid becoming. It will expose your power if you use it to accelerate becoming. So tonight, ask yourself one question that hurts a little. In the last 30 days, did I grow or did I just produce? Then do one small act of rebellion against comfort. Pick one skill, one project, one question, and stay with it for 7 days. No switching, no researching options, no new tabs, just depth. AI won't steal your job, but it will steal your excuses. And the moment your excuses are gone, your future becomes a choice again.